Oh, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to Simp Seminars, trying to help you little weirdos stop simping. And today's topic is, as you saw in the thumbnail, does she belong to the streets or is she wifey material? Before we get started, make sure you smash that like button. And I have a video I'm going to show you guys. And this is like going to be a routine that we get into when it comes to this channel, like watching some of the videos I like to watch to kind of help me out with some of the things that I have issues on when it comes to dating and relationships. Because you have to understand that this whole process, like just getting good when it comes to dating or just getting good when it comes to women in general and just getting rid of some bad habits is just consistency, right? Consistency is so key. Consistency is always key in any of this, right? You got to keep sharpening your skills. You can't just like do something and stop. Like one of the biggest issues when it comes to relationships, and I fell in this trap during my marriage was, you just get complacent. You get used to that person being there, but at the same time, like attraction and desire does burn out slowly over time. Jayhawk, I just took a shower. So you have to understand that, right? Everybody gets complacent. It all happens, right? But do you have a good woman? Or does she belong to the streets? Right. Now, the first thing, and what's up, Steve? We got Steve in the chat. We got Mizzy Matt. We got Jayhawk. We say Bree in the chat. What's up, babies? Good to have you guys in here. We're both wearing a Vans shirt. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Picked up got some new silver. Been into silver lately. I've been trying not to be a fool and spend too much money on jewelry. I've been buying a lot of jewelry lately, like a lot of like a little bit of gold and stuff here and there. But I got to remember that last year was good in cryptocurrency. I got to remember that it's not going to be like that every year. You know what I mean? But yeah, I really want a Rolex, to be honest. But I don't know if I can justify that shit yet. You know what I mean? But I've been into silver lately. I think silver's like the superior metal, right? Everybody has a bust down, right? Nonsense. Anyways, okay, let's get into the topic. Okay, so the first thing is, if you're dating a woman, you want to know if she belongs to the streets or not, right? Because look at this saying is so fucking true, and I hate it. It's not true 100%, but it's pretty true. It's good girls ain't no fun, and bad girls ain't no good, right? Good girls ain't no fun, and bad girls ain't no good. The ones who are exciting, fiery, maybe better in bed, fucking crazy sometimes, right? But the ones who are like, level-headed, kind, maybe reserved, honest, and stuff like that, kind of sucks sometimes, you know what I mean? And so, but some make better partners. Now, it's not everything, but still. Okay. So the first thing is, are you ripping her off another person? What does that mean? So many relationships are started by people, not just women, right? Who are in relationships, who are unhappy with their relationships. So they cheat on their significant other or emotionally cheat, not physically cheat, but maybe even emotionally cheat with someone, line them up before they break up because being alone, just sucks, truthfully, right? A lot of people don't like to be alone. And so before they're done with their current relationship, they'll have another person ready to rock, right? And a lot of women will do this. They'll call it monkey branching, right? To the next man. So if you're dating a woman, are you ripping her off another guy? Is she already involved with someone? A woman with integrity, and that's a good woman, she won't do those sort of things. She will clear up whatever issue she has and then move on to the next person, which would be you. Now, the truth is, some people are just emotionally gone in their relationships and there's no love there. And they've been that way for maybe months or even years sometimes. So they're ready for someone else, right? They're ready to move on to be with someone else because there's no love in the relationship. But for some reason or another, they haven't broken up with their significant other. It could be because of kids. It could be because they live together. Like, it's not as easy, especially with married couples, is just packing up your shit and leaving because there's so much that has to go into it, right? You got to move all your shit out. Maybe you have animals. Maybe, the divorce process is kind of crazy, right? But a good woman will acknowledge her attraction for you, won't act on it because it's not right, clear up whatever she had with her current relationship and move on to you, right? What's up, Soap God? How you doing, man? Fucking hardest working cryptocurrency YouTuber out there, man. I see you. I see you slaying it, So that's number one. And on deciding whether or not she belongs to the streets. Here's the thing. If you think, say for example, here's a scenario. You meet a girl, she's hot, right? And she ends up cheating on her boyfriend for you. And you think like, oh, I'm the superior man. Fuck that guy. First of all, love triangles, crazy sometimes. Get your ass killed sometimes in those situations. You got to be careful, right? Some men are crazy as fuck, right? There's been many stories, murder stories of motherfuckers getting shot in the face for ripping off another guy's girl. So keep that in mind, right? And you reap what you sow sometimes. But the thing is, she's going to do the same thing to you when you get complacent, right? If you don't think what she did to that guy, she can do to you, you're out of your damn mind. So are you ripping her off? That's number one. Two, vet people properly. That's how you know if they belong to the streets, right? Does she belong to the streets? Vet her properly. What does that mean? Date someone for an extended period of time before you decide to get committed to them, right? Be exclusive. And two, I pray to God before you get married or move in with these people. In the military, especially, it is so common for couples to get married after knowing someone for 2 months or 3 months, or sometimes even sooner. And people move in together. Look at, you don't know who someone is after a month or a week. It takes 6 months. It takes multiple years to really get to know someone, right? And people tell on themselves. That's why it's important to stay objective when you're dating, right? I know you want to suck her titties. I know you want to heat that ass up like a ham and cheese lean pocket. I understand you want to beat her guts. I know you want to dig her out, rearrange her insides, right? I understand, but you need to have some self-control and properly pay attention to the red fucking flags. If you're looking for something long-term, right? If you're deciding on whether or not she's wifey material. Women who belong to the streets will be like, yeah, I cheated on my boyfriend. Oh yeah, I went to Ibiza and I fucked like 5 guys when I was in Ibiza. You know what I mean? Like they'll say like little shit like that because maybe they think it's trendy, hip, or cool or something like that. Now look it, I get it. My body, my choice, head ass. Fine, do your thing, right? But I don't want to be with a woman exclusively long term if she's gonna go, on vacation and fuck 10 guys in a week span. It's just not how I roll. I don't like that. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure you pay attention to the red flags. People tell on themselves if you listen. And as a man, your job, especially on dates and relationship and courting and courtships and stuff, is to pay attention to women. Pay attention to what she says. Same thing with women and men. Pay attention to what he says. People tell on themselves. You got to let people you got to give people enough rope to hang themselves. That's what they say, right? So pay attention to the red flags and things people say while you're dating. Don't be so quick to be exclusive. Don't be so quick to get married or move in. Properly date and vet people over time, especially some guys. I mean, they get lonely, right? Maybe it's been a while since they got laid and she gave you some ass, or maybe it's the first time you've been on a date, or maybe it's the first time you've been with a woman and you finally met someone who's like hot and you're like, damn, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. I know she's been cheating on her last 10 boyfriends, but I'm different. You're not different. She's going to do the same thing to you. Number 3, it's kind of a sad one, but it's true. 3, did she come from a broken home? Is she fucked up? And if she did, has she addressed those issues? Look at, I come from a broken home. A lot of us have single parents, drugs, abuse, foster homes, low income, Section 8, food stamps, you know what I mean? Government assistance. A lot of us come from those broken homes, but have those people took the time to understand that my situation is fucked up. My parents are fucked up. I need to do the work on myself to be a better catch for my significant other. Has she done the time to work on herself? Did she come from parents who cheated on each other, who gaslight each other? You know what I mean? Those sorts of things. Were they abusive? You know what I mean? Was her dad around? Daddy issues are a real thing. Did her dad love her? Does she talk to her dad? Does she have a good relationship with her mom and dad? Look at those certain things. And if she doesn't, is she aware? And has she worked on those issues? Same thing with guys, right? Like me, for example. I understand where I came from. Dude, if all my relationships were like my parents' relationships, catastrophe, right? Catastrophe. And I know a lot of people understand where I'm coming from, right? Catastrophe. So you have to understand that, it's really important to look at her history, right? And just ask those questions. Yeah. Oh yeah. So what do your parents do? Oh yeah. Oh, they're divorced. Okay. What happened? Or not what happened, but oh, really? Okay. And she'll usually volunteer that information. Yeah. When I was 10, my dad, would hit my mom or, cheat on my mom and those sorts of things. And then my mom moved on to the next guy, and then she got with another guy who would cheat on her and hit her, you know what I mean? Like crazy shit like that. Self-awareness is so important because ignorance is bliss, right? And if you don't know there's something wrong, then there's no issue. And this is like a problem with all of our lives, right? Like if we don't know there's something wrong, if we're not aware of our situation, it's hard to fix it because you don't know there's a problem, right? So did she come from a broken home? Make sure you pay attention to her childhood, all those sorts of things. This is a big one for me. And I actually found this one out with a person I was recently dating a lot. Integrity. Does she lie? Like little lies, and lie about little things? Does she follow through with what she says? I was dating a girl recently who would just lie about like I liked her, but she would just lie about like little dumbass things. I'm like, I'm not fucking stupid. Like she would tell like stories, like tall tales that were just insane, like things that would happen to her every day. And like, there's no way these things happened. I called her out one time, like, hey, I'm like, you don't have to lie to me about little things. Like, don't lie to me about anything. Like, I could tell when you're lying. Because yeah, they're white lies, and but I think those turns into bigger lies, right? It's crazy. So make sure that you pay attention to those. Integrity, right? The thing is, the main thing that's important to men and women think like society's kind of fucked up. Society has fucked women up because they're making women think that we care about like accolades and how much she's done what with her life and how much money she makes. Men don't give a shit about that unless he's like a leech. We don't care, right? And we're gonna get into this video that explains everything scientifically, right? We care about integrity and honesty, and we want to make sure our wife is not getting piped up by our neighbor when we're gone. The truth is, guys, attraction isn't a choice. Just like you and me, like you and like a guy, I cannot choose who I want to put my ween dog in, right? If I'm walking down the street, I live in Southern California, everyone's fucking hot. I don't get to choose. Women, they're just hot, right? And women have the same thing. Some guys are just hot. But does she have the integrity not to act on it? Why? Because she has a man, right? Women who have integrity, who love you, they can go out and get approached by like 10 guys and be like, no, thank you. Or maybe have like a small conversation with them, but reference their boyfriend. I mean, guys in the chat, how many times have you been out, right? Casually dating or just out with a friend? You talk to a chick and then you thinking like she's like liking you. And then she's like, yeah, my boyfriend loves to do that, which means I got a boyfriend, right? So, good women will do those sorts of things, right? Integrity, right? We want to make sure that we could trust her when we're gone, right? When maybe we have to take a business trip for a week or something like that. Because, the thing is, if a woman wants to cheat on you, you're not going to stop it. If she has no integrity, you're not going to stop it. The best thing you could do is give people time and space and the ability to come and go as they please. Like have their social life, unless it's with people that are impeding on your relationship, obviously, and see what she does when you're not around. And if she cheats on you, especially if you have an open and honest relationship, she'll probably tell on herself, right? And then you can say, unfortunately, like that doesn't work for me. Yeah, you made a mistake. I know you slipped and fell on his dick. I know you slipped and fell and your mouth landed in his dick, and you guys fucked for an hour, oops, it just kind of landed there, but you're just better off as a friends with benefits. I don't see you as something serious, something like that. So, so those are my 4 points when it comes to deciding on, does she belong to the streets or is she good girlfriend or wifey material, right? That's really important, right? Because a lot of guys it's hard out there sometimes, and the truth is you don't get a lot of people in your life, I've noticed, that you're really attracted to and you really want, right? And like, for example, I'll use this story. And this is when I was still kind of simping a little bit. I was like mid-20s. I got most things right. So I was really good at dating. But once I started to get like women in my life that I liked in the longer term relationship, I started doing things that would really like drive some pussy. You know what I mean? Like controlling or just needy stuff, right? But there was one woman in my life that I met in Portland, physically fucking a 10, like 5'8", redhead, the fattest ass, beautiful face, beautiful eyes, just instant chemistry, right? Instant chemistry. But red flags. I mean, one of those crazy feminist chicks, right? I remember on our first date, I held open the door for her and she was like, I can hold open my own door. Like literally, like not even joking. And then I just poked some fun. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, I didn't know you had hands. I was just fucking around with. I just poke fun, and that's what you're supposed to do in those situations. But like right there, it's like, ugh, turn off. But I looked past a lot of things. It's Portland. Hoorah feminist bullshit. Like crazy feminist. Not like obviously, men and women should have equal rights. Obviously, right? Duh. But some of these crazy feminists, it's more about dominating men more than it is about being fair. It's just fucking nuts, right? But I looked past a lot of things because she was my unicorn physically, right? And and it didn't end up working out anyway. So, but damn, I wish I could get her type, like with someone else's personality. God damn, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so those are my 4 things to decide on whether she's wifey material or does she belong to the streets. Sometimes the streets are calling, baby. They want the girl back. All right, let's watch this video, and then we're gonna go over some talking points because it's very important. And I hope you guys like this kind of stuff because it does explain attraction a lot for men and women. And you guys let me know in the chat, what you think of this video, and then we'll go ahead and discuss it, and I'll answer some of your questions and whatnot. This is Jordan Peterson. This is like a scientific view of like men and women.
Males have a dominance hierarchy, and there's a relatively small number of males that are relatively successful, and those successful males have preferential access to female reproductive capacity.
So what he's saying pretty much is that in our society, and it's so true, like 20% of the men, it's smaller, I guess, if you're hyper rich, but 20% of the men have their choice with women. Because why, right? Because there's a dominance hierarchy for everything, right? Like it's rare to find a man it's common to find a man who has like one sexual partner or none, like it's no ass or just barely any ass, but it's very uncommon to find a woman who gets a lot of partners, right? Or who gets no partners. Like even like a woman you think is ugly probably gets dick regularly because guys will still want to put it somewhere, right? But this is true, right? A lot of the high status males in our society or guys who just have their shit together have a lot of choices with women.
Because the females actively choose the more dominant males, which is very, very common, or because the more dominant males chase all the less dominant males away. Even if the females don't exercise choice, which they often do, then the only males left around that can serve as reasonable mating partners are the more powerful ones. And so you think you get two really radical determiners of evolution as a consequence of that. One is that the males obviously are selected for their ability to move up dominance hierarchies because the ones that are at the top of the dominance hierarchy reproduce preferentially. And so that means the male dominance hierarchy becomes a method of selection, but then allied with that is the female proclivity for choice on whatever dimension the dominance hierarchy happens to be arranged. And so then female sexual selection also becomes a radical, non-random selector of what genetic material is going to move into the next generation. And so I fail to see how any of that can be separated from the emergence of complex nervous systems and mind over the course of evolution. Because creatures aren't making random choices. They're not random at all. Imagine a peacock's tail. And it's covered with eyes, which is quite interesting because eyes, of course, attract attention.
Pretty much what he's saying is that, women select the best guys. Why? Like instinctually. Why? Because they have the best genetics, right? They want to pass those genetics on, right, to the next generation. Women see men who are what in our society, right? Have money, status, fame, power. Right? Or, those are like the Drakes of society, right? Obviously, that's the extreme end, right? The Drakes of the world are the kind of guys that could literally call a woman over from anywhere, fly them out, fuck them, and send them on their way, right? Even like higher status males who make really good money, maybe look a little good, take care of themselves, the everyday Joes, but they're killing it, right? They have more choices with women, not to that extreme, right? They can't do the things they do, but the same principle applies, right? Women select those men. And it's crazy because rejection pretty much is, right, with a woman, rejection pretty much is, at its truest sense, is, I don't think your genetics are good enough to move on to the next generation, at least not with me. That's what rejection is really, right? So it's interesting, but it's all like, it's a natural thing, right? It's not a coincidence that women choose, more higher status males if they can, right?
And lots of animals have evolved eye-like markings. So there's moths that, when they unfold their wings, they have two big eyes on the back of them, and that's to keep birds from eating them, because the birds don't like being stared at, so they stay away from the moths. So a peacock's tail is nothing but eyes, and so it's very attractive, and it shimmers, and there's something about it that's beautiful, which is quite interesting too. The females have obviously been selecting the male peacocks for beauty. They have this insane tail. So the evolutionary biologists have thought, well, what possible utility could that tail be? Is it just maybe the females got fixated on tail, so to speak, and you got a Baldwin effect loop going there, and the male peacocks just got bigger and bigger tails, and it's just like an evolutionary dead end. It's a positive feedback system that's gone out of control. But they have done things that like look at the symmetry and size and overall quality of the male peacock's tail as a marker for physical health. So reduced parasite load, for example. And it does turn out that the healthier male peacocks have better tail display. And so what the females seem to be doing is using some marker or some set of markers as a proxy indicator. You could say reasonably that female human beings do the same thing to male human beings. And there's some of that vice versa too. Like we evaluate each other, for example, for symmetry, which is one of the elements of beauty, because healthier people tend to be more symmetrical. And lots of animals use symmetry. Butterflies won't mate with another butterfly if it deviates from symmetry by the tiniest amounts you can imagine. So symmetry is a marker. And there's other markers like shoulder width to waist width is one, and waist width to hip width. Males use that too.
So obviously, right? Like the same symmetry, right? What's attractive out of man? And some people say, oh, dad bod's this, and I like, no. If we could choose our perfect significant other, right? Something we're not only settling before because we feel insecure about ourselves, because the truth is a lot of people feel insecure about themselves and settle for what they think they can get, right? But if we could get what we wanted, right? As a man, you like a big ass, big hips, right? We like that hip to waist ratio, right? Or as a woman to a man, you like the shoulder to hip ratio, right? The V taper, right? Nice broad shoulder, a thin or smaller waist, those sorts of things, right? We like aesthetics, right? So it's all like it's all primeval and scientific. It's kind of crazy.
To evaluate females in part. So there's lots of markers of health. The data worldwide seems to indicate that women mate across dominance hierarchies and up, socioeconomically speaking. And on average, across cultures, women go for men who are about 4 to 5 years older. It varies. In the Scandinavian countries, that's shrunk a little bit, but not that much. And in other cultures, it's bigger. I would say that depends to some degree on difficulty of establishing economic independence, because in richer countries, it's easier to have enough economic independence if you're a man.
Guys, it's Be Real. It's not. It's Be Real. Okay, guys, it's Be Real. It's not some fucking. It's Be Real. Someone put this Be Real over the fucking thing. So stop focusing on her butt. I'm just saying though, as a man, we like big booties, right? And that's true. Women tend to date guys who are as good as them on, economically, socioeconomically, or better than them. This is why younger women like to date older men in a sense, right? Some are obviously gold diggers, but some women like older men because women obviously mature faster than men. And women like guys who can handle their shit, right? Who are competent and those sorts of things, right?
Male to be a useful participant in the process of having children. But it doesn't matter. Cross-culturally, it's still across and up, where men mate across and down. They don't care much about socioeconomic status. It doesn't seem to be part of their selection method, generally speaking.
And what he's saying, right? And then Uma Thurman, I know I like Uma Thurman, right? She didn't have a really big ass. She has a nice little bubble butt, right? But look at her eyes, like her beautiful eyes, her face. Like face is number one importance when it comes to attraction to men. It's face, obviously, right? And what was this? What did he just say right here?
Status doesn't seem to be part of their selection method.
Yes, men don't care about women's status. We don't care. But society tells women that men are supposed to care, or, that we view attraction the same way. Guys, we do not. Men do not care about the accolades of a woman. They don't. They really don't, right? If a woman makes $50,000 a year and she's everything I want physically and has the personality and the integrity and trust I want, versus a woman who has the same thing going for her, or maybe makes $200,000 a year, but maybe has an undesirable personality, I don't care. I do not care about any of that, right? But society teaches women that we care about that. It's like, no, we do not. You ever seen that song, Show Me Your Genitals? I can't have sex with your personality. I can't stick my fist in your college degree. Now, obviously, that's extreme. It's funny, right? But, it's satire, but it's, some truth to it, right?
Generally speaking. So I think that part of that is also the ability of women to select for male health. It's something like that, because it isn't only that, because if you're healthy and energetic, you're much more likely to be successful, because it's very hard to be successful if you're ill, obviously. The competition is just too high. And both genders, both sexes select each other for attractiveness, both select for intelligence, both select for personality, although there are differences there in terms of what's stressed. So I think you can derive a couple of things out of this. And this is where I think people are different than other animals, importantly different, is that, so you imagine that there's tremendous selection pressure towards the production, let's say, of men who are good at climbing the male dominance hierarchy. But the thing that's so interesting about people is that we've multiplied our dominance hierarchy. So if you take an animal that's got a rather static behavioral pattern, then there's a single hierarchy. Elephant seals are a good example of that. So elephant seals, the males are absolutely massive. They're way bigger than the females. And they basically have harems, roughly speaking. And they use physical prowess as their marker of status, essentially. And obviously size is a huge part of that. They're massive, these things. They're absolutely enormous. And so it's just
So what he's saying right here, right, in different dominance hierarchies. What's up, Racket Club? What's up, Sinue? No, it's not crypto. This is Simp Seminars, But in animal hierarchies, right, power is valued more than anything, right? But in our society, it's not about the biggest person, right? There's multiple dominance hierarchies when it comes to becoming a higher value male. Obviously, one's physical, right? Climbing the top to your physical dominance hierarchy. Your career, maybe something you're competent in, maybe a hobby. There's multiple dominance hierarchies as men that we have to climb to get towards the top, right? And as a man, around 30 years old, you become hyper aware where you are on that pecking order. It doesn't matter if you pretend like you don't care, you become aware because you see examples of other people that are doing better than you and are a reminder of how hard you should be working or what you should be doing in our everyday lives, right? So, it'd be good for you to try to climb your dominance hierarchy.
Power / health, maybe aggression, something like that. It's whatever makes them more suitable for the kind of physical combat that elephant seals engage in. And the degree to which power is associated with dominance status in those sorts of situations seems to be associated with the size differential between males and females. So the more power is an issue with regards to male competence, the larger the males are compared to the females, and the more likely the males are going to have a harem relationship with the females. You see that a little bit in human beings because men are bigger than women. They're not overwhelmingly bigger, that's sexual dimorphism. And there's some men that are smaller than some women, but on average men are taller, they have more upper body strength and so forth. So there is a power element to male competition, but it's not as extended as it would be among animals, say, like elephant seals. So in the elephant seal, you see maybe there's one stable set of traits that's being selected for that makes the males more likely to reproduce. But human beings, we're very weird creatures because we're so conceptually flexible. And so what seems to have happened, males started selecting each other in dominance competitions for something like cognitive flexibility and conscientiousness. It's something like that. So that would be the ability to abstractly represent the world, and then the ability to operate effectively within it, to represent yourself socially in a way, and then to carry through with that, because that enables people to trust you. So it's something like that. And so that produced cortical expansion, and then women were selecting men who were good at that, and that produced cortical expansion. And then there's an arms race between women and men with regards to intelligence. So the women kept up with intelligence as the evolutionary cycle continued. But one of the consequences of selection for cortical expansion and increased cognitive flexibility was that the number of dominance hierarchies that human beings could produce started to multiply, because there's all sorts of ways that you can be successful. Think about how many ways you can be successful in a modern culture, and you can be successful in dimensions that aren't really even associated with each other. So you can be successful socially, that's what an extrovert would do. You could be
that's having a social life of abundance, like having friends and a good social life that that you hang out with a lot. Like shout out to Roger and Jesus, right? We went out last night, and we met up with some other people, made some friends. It's good to be social and have a nice social life of abundance. Now, what's the next one?
Be successful in terms of intimate relationships. That's what an agreeable person would do. A disagreeable person would be more successful with regards to competition.
So if you're like a nicer person that tends to be more agreeable, like not a yes man really, but maybe more agreeable, you like intimate relationships. You like having a girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? A disagreeable person loves competition, like a real hard ass loves competition, right? How about neuroticism?
A person who's high in neuroticism would be trying to protect themselves and to establish some sort of security. An open person would be looking for a flexible, creative environment. And so there's this multiplicity of ways that you can establish a dominance hierarchy and be successful in it. And if you're creative, you can come up with your own damn dominance hierarchy, which is exactly what you're doing if you're creative, right? You spin up a game that's your game, and then you make the rules. And that's hard, because if you make a new game with new rules, it's hard to monetize it. But you can be the best at playing that game, and so that's a huge advantage to being creative if you can pull it off. So then you think, well, what's happened among human beings is the multiplication of the set of possible dominance hierarchies. So it's become very broad. And then you could say, well, what's driving selection now is the ability to be successful across multiple sets of dominance hierarchies.
And pretty much what he's saying in a nutshell right there, right, is, and I'm going to show you guys videos like this every so often. What's up, Roger? How you doing? Make sure you're successful in many different things in your life, like health. Maybe learn how to fight, or at least take care of yourself, lift some weight, stay in relatively good shape. You'd be surprised after the age of 30 how many people don't give a shit about fitness at all. You know what I mean? They don't care about health and fitness at all. Whatever your job is, like, be good at your job, making money, being competent at things. Just make sure you're successful in multiple dominance hierarchy. So I hope you guys liked that video. Hope it helped. And I will go ahead and chat with you guys. And of course, the topic of the day, the day was, guys, is does she belong to the streets, or does she make good wifey material? Now, obviously, I covered that in the beginning of the video. So if you're a little late, then you missed out in the beginning. But of course, you could watch it a little later. I mean, the first 10 minutes I spent talking about the subject. And then I'll get a regular schedule so you guys know exactly what to expect here. I'm thinking 7:30 to 8:30 every single night, Monday through Friday. What do you guys think about that? Or maybe directly after coffee and crypto. So I have to get something going, because 7:30 to 8:30 might kill my dating schedule, because I still want to go out on dates and stuff. And 7:30 is usually my golden hour for that. So Racket Club says it's weird how girls like dudes when they're not available because they're working on their purpose. Yeah, because it's the same thing we talked about last night, like pedestalizing women. Like, like, you're focusing on your mission in life. You're not making her paramount, right? So it's very important that you stick to working on your passion, right? And chasing excellence. And then women tend to chase you. It's like Corey Wayne says this a lot. It's like you have a fun bus and you're just inviting women to come along your fun bus, right? It's like, hey, here's my bus. I'm having fun. My life is great. Let's roll. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's so true. Of course you have to do courtship, right? You have to reach out and stuff like that. Like, here's the thing with dating. Like, men, we start the courtship, right? We initiate the dating, right? We start the chase, but over time, women like to chase. I don't care what anybody says or what women says. When it's 50-50, it's not what they think, it's what they respond to. And women respond to if they have to get your attention more, right? And the way you facilitate that without making them feel like shit is if a woman hits you up, you respond. I'm not saying in the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I'm saying you respond when you have a chance. Don't make her wait days or weeks for you to respond because you're trying to, I don't know, play it cool. No. Here's the thing. Like, for example, like, if I want to, maybe I met somebody online or met somebody in person, right? Maybe we send a few texts here and there on online. And I say, hey, I'd like to meet you in person. When are you free to get together for a drink? Or, hey, I'd like to meet you out in person. Here's my number. Like, text me and we'll set up a date. And she texts you like, hey, this is so-and-so from Hinge. Oh, it's so good to hear from you. What does your schedule look like? And she goes, oh, I'm free Thursday, Friday at 6 p.m. Say, hey, how about we meet at Friday, this bar, 6 p.m. How does that sound? Perfect. Great. And you initiated the courtship right there, right? Now, after that first date, if it went well, some women will hit you up, some won't. So I always say the first 2 initiations are for men. I mean, obviously you could do more or less, whatever, but the first 2 initiations are for men, right? I would wait 5 days to hit her up after that. Say if we went on a Friday, we had a great day, but she hasn't hit me back up through the weekend and it's like Wednesday. Maybe I'll text her Wednesday and say, hey, it was nice hanging out with you the other night. When are you free to get together for dinner this time? Or something like that. And she lets you get her schedule. You meet out for dinner. You have a great date. Maybe you have sex, whatever. And now, usually, you give women the ball. They'll fucking LeBron James or fucking Kyrie Irving dribble that shit, right? They'll take control of the situation and they'll start reaching out to you. Well, what do they do, right? What do they do? Hey, I saw this movie and it made me think of you. Or, hey, I was doing this thing and it showed me, it reminded me of that thing you told me on the date. What is she doing? She's like, hi, I'm thinking about you. Ask me out, bitch. So that's your job. Like, oh, it's so good to hear from you, so-and-so. When are you free to get together again? So what you do is that when women start to chase you, because it's better when they're chasing you. Why? Shout out to Corey Wayne. When they're chasing you, they ain't leaving you, right? And anybody can tell you, any like dating person can tell you that when women are chasing you, they ain't ghosting you, right? Because they're chasing you. You don't ignore them for a week. You don't ignore them for multiple days. You say, hey, it's good to hear from you. When are you free to get together, right? You positive reinforcement. She knows that every time she reaches out to you, you want to get together for a date. Or maybe it's 9 p.m. or it's late at night and you guys have been dating for a while. Maybe you've been on like 4 or 5 dates already. So you guys already have some sort of rapport, right? Maybe you've had sex already. She's like, hey, it's 9 p.m. She's like, I'm watching this movie. I thought about you. Or what's up? Hey, why don't you grab some a beer and come over? Maybe you're flirting a little bit. Invite her over. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta let women chase you, right? Some women, like these new age chicks, don't do that because they're with freaking women coaches telling them not to do that. But let me tell you, it's better when she's chasing you, right? And feminine energy is about that kind of stuff. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he's up to. I do something where if it's been a few dates and you're not reaching out to me first, I don't want a woman who's like not chasing me. If she's like super masculine where she doesn't feel the urge to chase me, or maybe she's not into me like that, I just let it go because I want women chasing me. It's always the best. It's always the best position to be in. If I've initiated the first couple dates and we've been out, we've had sex a few times, or we've been on like 3-4 dates, and she's still not initiating contact with me, and she's waiting for me to initiate contact, you ain't gonna get it unless I'm drunk or something. I might try to slide. What you up to tonight? And what you doing tonight? But you'll see the women that have to chase you and get your attention. It's always better, right? Even if they're mad about it, it's always better. Why don't you hit me up? Or like I always say, I remember one girl I was dating. Well, I'm still dating her. She goes, you never hit me up, or you ghosted me. And I kind of ghosted her a little bit, but she hit me up one time and we got together, and she was just fucking on me like flies on shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Racket Club says, Rod, do you ever have a woman text you every day and not initiate dates? Yeah, we call those attention whores. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot of women who'll do that. So what I do with that Racket Club is I keep it short and simple, because the truth is a lot of women need attention, and some just want your attention, and you're not getting my attention because I don't get to know people over phones. I'm not a big fucking Snapchat person. I'm not a big Instagram person. Not with women, right? With the homies, the boys, yeah, we have a little meme groups and shit like that. But when it comes to women, I'm not gonna sit here and be your pen pal over your phone. If she's hitting you up, you got to ask her out on dates, Racket Club. If she's reaching out to you, you have to initiate the date. A lot of women are not going to reach out and get dates, or excuse me, ask you for a date. You have to plan the date. But if you're reaching out and you're like, hey, it's good to hear from you. Like, yeah, I was watching that too. Like, oh yeah, the game was crazy. Like, hey, when are you free to get together? Let's grab a drink. And she never makes dates, but she's always reaching out. Like, if I try to make a date like 3 times and she doesn't make a date, then I just ignore her. I'm not going to no, why? Like, stop. I'm not your pen pal, unless you're into that. I do have some girls that I can go out with, like homegirls, and like kick it with. But usually all the girls that are in my life, that it's all strictly dickly, right? And the girls I know are from different friend groups, and we're just in different friend groups and stuff like that. Like, there's not really any sexual energy there. We're just in a big like rave group or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of women out there who just want your attention, who will just blow up your phone and those sorts of things. 100%, 100%, 100%. Some women need. So for example, I used to work at this mental health hospital, and there was one girl in particular. What the that is, hey, boy? She had a big butt, and dude, she was hot, and she was one of those chicks who would always reach out and always like say hi at work, and like if anybody saw your interaction, you'd be like, dude, she wants to fuck you, but never make a date with you because she just likes the attention, right? So it's up to you though to keep it strictly dickly, and understand that if you're texting her, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, she's just there for your attention. So, just keep that in mind. But very, very good question, because that's there a lot. That's a lot. Bree says, how ironic would it be to ruin your dating life and teach others about dating? Well, hey, I'm not opposed to. Dude, I've done so much dating a lot of dating in my life, like pre-marriage, and now the last March. I've been on a absolute tear just dating because I want to get information for you guys and, other things, have some good experiences. And it ain't over yet, but I'm open to having a girlfriend. 100% open, 100% open to having a girlfriend. 100%. But yeah, no, I gotta keep it going, but it's not about just dating, it's relationships too. Like, I knew like the reason why my marriage didn't work out is because I got complacent and I just didn't want to do the things that got me to the dance, and I just wasn't passionate anymore. I just wanted to be single. And the thing is like, look at the divorce rate's 50%. A lot of people break up and cheat on each other. It's like, is having a monogamous relationship the right way? It's a way for people, but is it the only right way? I don't think so. I think there's a bunch of different ways. And just because it's your way doesn't mean that everybody has to conform to your way. So if you like to fuck multiple people, fine. Do your thing. Research purposes, yes. Jedi says he's out here trying to marinate the schmeat. Let me see some of these. I think I'm getting sick. I don't know why I'm getting sick. Jeez. I didn't do anything. Oh, we did stay out last night and drink a lot and do some stuff. Slept for 2 hours. So that's probably why I feel sick. I gotta go grocery shopping tonight. I gotta charge the Tesla and go grocery shopping. DJ was getting choosing signals wearing the sheesh, right? Hey man, choosing signals, right? I was with my boys last night, and I was talking to one of my friends, Jeebus, and something I've noticed, guys, and you should really do this, and it works. It works like, okay, so a lot of times guys will go out and like look for ass, and I get it. When I go out, I would like to hook up with someone, right? I would like to meet a fucking hot chick out and hook up with them, but you can't go out looking for it, if that makes sense. You have it in the back of your head, but don't look for it. The best success I ever have with like just meeting women out, and sometimes you don't meet women out every night, right? Is that I'm always just minding my own business, just having fun with my friends. Like you're not there looking around all hungry and shit, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're just hanging out with your friends or your boys, your friend group, and you're just having a good time. And women will just get in your area. They'll maybe stare at you or something. Then you can ask them to dance or dance with them, or whatever you're trying to do. But it's always good to go out and focus on you and your friends. It's always better when you come at that from that place, right? If you go out looking all hungry and shit, looking all weird and shit, and you see those guys, right? They're dancing on the dance floor, just like with their drink right here, blocking their emotional center, just like, you know what I mean? Like fucking weird, Yeah, last night we had some weird ass little Asian chick that, I mean, Asian has nothing to do with, but she was Asian, little Asian chick fucking on my friend last night. And she was just weird. She was just strange, creepy. Ragged Club says, facts, brothers. They always come around when you're chill. I like to leave the crib with an empty tank, if you know what I mean. Hey, well, honestly, I can fight those urges. So one of the things that I told you guys about is like how to last. Because a lot of people wanted to know how to last longer and have multiple orgasms. And I told you about my funny story that I was on a lot of stimulants and couldn't get that bad boy going the other night. And I was with a chick that I really liked too, bro. Hey, shit happens though, right? Sometimes the soldier won't stand at attention. It happens to the best of us. Don't do a bunch of stimulants. I've been experimenting a lot with different fun activities lately. But anyways, there's a thing you can do, and I told you guys about it with how men can last longer and have multiple orgasms. And part of that is like you have to practice. Like if you're like a really weak nut, you have to make sure that you're practicing how you got to perform, right? Which is you got to spank that thing a few times a week at least. But once you get the hang of it, I would suggest not beating off so much, because to me, like having that sexual energy, like that fucking, it makes you want to achieve things. It makes you want to work out and like be a better man to attract women, right? I've noticed that, right? So make sure you limit to your nut busting. But yeah, if you rub one out before you go out, you're not going to be in a state of like, like I need it, Dude, I was pushing rope, Racket Club. So I was on some stuff, some 2 different types of stimulants, and just bad timing. I was like, first of all, she came over on a Sunday night. I was turning the fuck up Saturday night, so I didn't sleep at all. I went to bed like at 6 a.m. or some crazy shit like that. I woke up like at 2. I watched the football game. I couldn't sleep. And so I took some stuff to help me focus. And I took some more stuff because I like to party. And she came over and it was just not happening. It was just not. I was pushing rope. Yes, Kegels. Yeah, we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, exactly. Moderation. Yeah, exactly. Jack says, what am I supposed to do when my meat gets? Yeah, say sometimes you got to rub one out, baby. Sometimes, sometimes you're just like, if it's been like 4 days, bro, like just knock one out of the park. But don't watch porn. Just give up porn or moderation. Like if you're a porn person and you feel like you have a problem, limit it to once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with porn if you don't abuse it. But a lot of guys abuse it and watch it every day and shit. And like, you don't want to do that. First of all, it like fucks up with your dopamine. That's not how sex is. So when you have sex, you're not going to be able to fucking get it up. 2 and 3, it's like an addiction, right? And you don't want to kill your sexual energy, 2 minutes on fucking Pornhub. Or if you're Jayhawk, you probably just Google pictures of like feet or something. Yeah, I know you're not single, Bree. Kegels, yes, exactly. 300 Kegels a day, 5 days a week. and then beating your schmeedus for 30 minutes 3 times a week, making sure you get close to busting 6 times. You can make yourself have multiple orgasms. Like you can get close to like busting, stop, and you could still like ejaculate, which is like Mother Nature's lube. But make sure you're not going in raw unless it's your girlfriend, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Don't. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. Racket Club says, man, on my 30th birthday, I was low-key embarrassed because I did too much. Exactly, bro. That's exactly what I was blasting with the boys. They were watching the football game. Just, woo, 49ers, baby. You know? And it took pop the Adderall. Feel like I can lift a tree up. So, you know, I was doing that too. So don't do that. Don't double those motherfuckers up, bro. The spirit was willing, but the body, like, no response, 0. Like, I don't think I've ever, because I don't really do that much. But that day I was just sending it, and then she wanted to come over, and I was like, yeah, oh yeah. I was fucking in the mood, but it was just not going. And I remember when I was making out with her, I was like, yo, what the? I was like, what the fuck? And sometimes you just spank it for a little bit, you know, and it's okay. You know, sometimes you gotta spank it a little bit. Nope. And the fucked up thing is, like, you know, she thinks like she's not attractive, which she's hot. I think she's hot. She's like almost a 10 in my eyes. Her personality is a little masculine for me, though. You know, you think that you know, it makes them feel bad because they think it's them, right? They're not attractive, but she was hot, and that's just me. I just, you know, Mr. J-Way. J-Hawk says, I always go in raw psych. I don't pull any bitches. That's hilarious. Should have told the girl, no, that wouldn't do nothing you could have done. Uma Thurman could have been there, fucking spread eagle, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. The hottest redhead could have been there. Nothing. Just wouldn't have worked. It just was not working. And it would like really shrunk, you know? It's just bad, bro. Fuck. Rough, you know? Hey, we all go through it, you know? Your boy's been there, but now I know I ain't doing that shit next time. And you know, when we get it together again, which we will, let me tell you, I'm gonna heat that ass out, boy. I'm gonna get a full 8 hours of sleep. I'm gonna eat healthy all day. You know, I'm gonna do a little workout, you know, and just be ready to go, bro. I'm gonna have R. Kelly playing right when she gets to the crib. It's crazy. No, I don't. You know, no, I'm not doing Molly. I'm not doing Molly. Like, you don't do Molly like for like on a Monday night. You don't. You know what I mean? You don't roll. Rolling is so bad. Like, the only way to roll healthy, and I'm not telling you, I'm not endorsing any of this stuff. Okay, is like once every 4 months or once every 3 months. That shit will fuck you up. And it's not really. Is it really a stimulant? You know, what's up, Biz? How you doing, baby? Take a pre-workout? No, it's a stimulant, bro. Exactly. Yeah. I never had these problems in college, but boy, time catches up in the 30s. I mean, you could go to the doctor and get help for that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stigma on like ED medication, but dude, if you can get it from your doctor, who cares? Sometimes you don't want those 80% boners. Sometimes you want those fucking pull me in, coach. Show me the pussy. You know what I'm talking about. Those like crazy hard-ons. You know, like those really ones. But make sure you go to a doctor and stuff like that, because if you're taking other medication, that shit could fuck with your heart. So make sure you consult a professional first. I have a pretty good Solo Jam playlist. Right Club says, players, when's the last time you've been with a black girl? Last week. I just don't like her personality. I know a lot of. I'm sure someone's gonna find this page that I'm dating, and they're gonna fucking. I know a bunch of people I used to talk to know about this page, but I just don't. Her personality just is terrible. It's just terrible. But I'm not really into black chicks, to be honest. But she's mixed, so. Biz says, I get ads for him, for him a lot. Oh, hymns. Well, that's not better than the blue or the yellows, right? But I'm talking about my snow and yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wanted that ass, but couldn't stand her attitude. Well, you know, if you're a little drunk and a little high, she's fun though, but I just don't like her. She just has a really pompous personality. And she was one that I took out on a date. Look, here's the thing. I always say, like, this whole society, 50-50. No, you fucking weirdos. Look, if you're the man and you're inviting her out to a place to eat, your ass is paying for the date. You're paying for the date. If you're a couple and you're going out to eat, well, then maybe you could do split it, or maybe you could pay most of it. But I honestly think, guys, as a leader in the relationship, as the masculine force, especially if you're making most of the bread, pay for the fucking food, dude. Make your wife pay for a phone bill or something. You know what I mean? That 50-50 shit, it only works if like you guys are splitting things or make the same amount of income. Like, back before crypto and stuff, and I was making like actually really good money, I would split a lot of things down the middle with like my ex and those sorts of things because we had to, right? But if you're not in a position where you don't have to do that stuff, and you're inviting women out on a date, pay for everything, right? Now, here's the thing. When we went on a date, like usually most times, like 99% of the time, women will be like, oh, you want me to get the tip, or do you want me to pay for half of it? Like they'll at least try. Like she didn't even think about grabbing her purse. She didn't even look at her purse. She's like, yeah, you're paying for this, motherfucker. So I would have paid for it anyways, but I wanted the effort, Steve says, am I the only man left on earth past 30 that doesn't need anything to get hard? No, I mean, some people can, it depends. Like what I've noticed is that like, when I'm in a relationship, it's like easy to get hard. Like, because there's no anxiety. It's not a first person you just met, you're with them. It's like, it's your wife or your girlfriend, you know what to do. Like that's not hard. But sometimes when you're drunk or you meet somebody out, or maybe you're doing a bunch of drugs, or maybe you're nervous or something like that, or maybe it's just like a bad environment, whatever. Sometimes it's hard to get a boner, right? Sometimes. But what I've noticed, guys, and this is important, what I've noticed is that really sexual women who know what they're doing and they're kind of sexy and kind of take the lead sometimes, a little, not initiate everything, but like are not scared to like touch you. Those are the ones that work. Like I was with like chicks that are like, will put their hands in your pants and do shit to you, like that's hot. Like women who like just right away just start sucking it. I'm like, great, look good for you. Like some women have to participate. Some women are just pillow princesses. Like, bitch, you got to participate in this shit too. You know what I mean? I hate that shit, man. I hate that shit. I hate chicks who like are just pillow princesses. It's like, you can participate in this too. Travis says, too funny. Sorry, but enjoying hearing this conversation. Almost 50, been married 23 years, and funny to hear the mindset is for the next gen. What's up, Travis? You know what I'm talking about, though. And shout out to you. So happy married couples fuck 3 times a week, right? 2 to 3 times a week. That's when they get it in. So hopefully you're banging that out. If you are, great job. A lot of couples, it's not uncommon for married couples to not fuck in decades or years sometimes, or maybe once a month. So Jose Canseco of the bedroom. I pay for the date. She pay for the tip. I pay for everything. I pay for time. It's fully legal. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing that, I mean, whatever floats your boat. I'm not into that, but hey, man, if you're in another country, whatever. I'll go Dutch with a chick so fast without hesitation. No, I always got it. The thing is, like, women who are givers, like, they're going to get to a point where they're just like, you want me to pay for something? Or this is how I do it to make her not feel bad. Because usually, like, on a dinner date, I'm just not doing dinner. We're going to do something fun after. So we'll get dinner, and then we'll shoot some pool after. Or we'll go do something like a barcade or something like that. Like, you want to have an experience. Like, for the first date, I always say, go get drinks. Why? Because when you meet someone out, if she doesn't drink, go get fucking coffee. But make sure it's in the evening. Why? Romance happens in the evening, right? You don't do breakfast and lunch dates with a woman you want to bang, or you see something romantic with. Romance happens in the evening, right? So make sure as a man, you plan the logistics, right? Go out, meet out for drinks. If it's a bad date, well, hey, you just spent $20 on 2 drinks, right? If it's a great date, maybe you get 2 drinks and an appetizer there. If it's a great date, as a man, you did the logistics, maybe go around the block and play some pool or a barcade or something fun like that. Maybe throw some darts. I don't know what the fuck, whatever. Right. But, have multiple experiences. Now, if it's a second date, I like to say, let's grab dinner. So now I'm going to pick them up if they're comfortable with that, because I always ask like, hey, I'll pick you. If you're comfortable, I'm going to swoop you up at 6, or we can meet there. But usually, women are comfortable. A lot of women think you're Jeffrey Dahmer these days, because there's a lot of like murder mystery stuff going online. So a lot of women think you're Jeffrey Dahmer, you have a rope in your trunk or some shit. So obviously you have to build trust and rapport, but I pick them up, right? And then we go out for dinner and then something fun after, right? So, and the way I get it is I say, hey, or she feels bad about you paying for dinner. I say, hey, well, we're going to go shoot some pool after this. How about you get us drinks at the pool place or the bar or the barcade? And she's okay, cool. And she could buy us drinks at the pool place. And it seems like she's adding to it, right? It makes you feel better too that she's a giver, right? Steve says, I find it opposite. Being in a relationship has really killed the vibe. Yeah, it's hard to keep the spice along. Look, the truth is, most couples that are together for a long time, the romance just kind of fizzles out. It's a very small percentage of couples who like have that same spark that they had when they first met. Just like you got to get freaky, right? You got to make time to romance each other and court each other, right? You got to have some variety in there, right? You got to spice it up, right? Can't fuck missionary for 50 years and expect to still be fucking stoked. Travis says, dude, have 4 kids, 1 in college, 1 senior in high school, 1 10th grade, an only daughter, 7th. After everything we've gone through, you need to find a like-minded, strong woman who will be with you through. Yeah, true, man. Man, you need a good woman to hold you down. 100%, Travis, because, one of the things you see is a lot of men think that, like, if you fall down hard times, women are just going to leave you and fuck the next guy next door because you lost your job or something. That's not true, right? Good woman will stick through you for a certain amount of time. Obviously, as a man, I have to figure shit out, get back on your feet, right? But a good woman will see it through with you, 100%, man. A fat booty helps too. So Mr. J-Way says, ever seen anime or shows where a crazy girl stalks a guy she likes, spies him through the window, shit is hot, or the girl who acts mean but really likes the guy, or the girl who acts mean but really... You've been watching too much fucking hentai, Mr. J-Way. But yeah, women who like guys, they'll fucking go out of their way to put themselves into your orbit. They won't go out and like probably ask you out, but they'll do things to get into your orbit. Like, hey, I like the way that looks at you, or they'll come like, I don't know, text you about dumb shit, or they'll put themselves into your orbit. Bride Clip says, bro, I need to add some more to my rotation. You gotta add some people to the bench. I'm open to a relationship. I really am. Like, if I meet someone who does it for me, I'm open to a relationship with someone, 100%. But I have to find it first, right? And I can't settle this time, So can't settle. I need someone who likes to fucking party a little bit, not too much. Who has a fun, outgoing personality, stuff like that. It's hard to find. It's hard to find that. It's hard to find that, Like I said in the beginning of the stream, good girls ain't no fun, bad girls ain't no good sometimes. So, but there's some happy mediums, right? But I want a girl who's like fun and outgoing and who likes to have friends and do stuff like that. Like, I like that kind of stuff, The interesting thing is, like, I tended to, earlier, years ago, I tend to gravitate towards more, like, for long-term relationships, gravitate towards women who are like kind of more reserved and less talkative, I'd say, because I'm kind of an animated person, extroverted, animated person, as you guys know, right? And it's nice having someone who's chiller than you because they can teach you some things that you don't know. But what I've noticed is that I can't really date someone who's too much of an introvert and too quiet and too passive. I need a little bit of fiery, like, attitude. I need a little bit of fieriness, right? I need a little bit of that. Not too crazy, right? But I need a little bit of that. I need a girl who's down to, like, go on a bender with me for a weekend, right? Go to a festival and do all kind of degenerate shit for 2 days straight and just feel like shit Sunday day, but, chill all Sunday and recover and stuff like that, stuff like that. Right Club says, I'm open to, but some girls be acting a little weird sometimes when they get some good D. Well, I mean, hey, man, you're laying good pipe. Good for you. Especially when you try to be some alpha chick that gives advice on other girls, but don't practice what they preach. Well, here's the thing. What women say and what they respond to is different. They say they want a guy who does this. They want a guy who buys her flowers every fucking week. They want a guy who always hits her up and stuff. No. Those are not the guys they fuck. Maybe those are the guys they settle for later in life, right? But those are not the guys that really gets to fucking... What they say and what they respond to is so different. This is why movies have this dumbass archetype of this weirdo guy who does all these desperate things for a chick he likes, but then she ends up fucking the football player. But over time, she magically falls in love with this weirdo who's been writing her letters every day and showing up at her house at 2 a.m. because that's the archetype. And in real life, that shit gets you fucking a restraining order because that's creepy, right? And obviously, in high school, we know that, the hot girls are like, ew, that guy's weird, and ends up fucking Chad Thundercock, who's the captain of the football team, right? That's the, that's what we see in our everyday life, right? Girls like men who don't put them on a pedestal. Mr. J says, you seem to have a young mindset for a person your age. Partying and fooling around is fun when you're younger, but when you get older, people, especially women, want to settle and have a serious relationship. Well, you can have it all depends about interest, right? Goals, values, and similar interests. Like, I want a woman who likes go to live music and festivals, who will have a band. We don't have to have a bender every weekend, but maybe we can go to a festival once a month, who likes to get out, have some fun. Some women, you could say that's a young mindset. You could say it's old mindset. I know plenty of older couples who find a babysitter for the kids, right? Or leave them with their parents for a weekend and go have some fun. It all depends. You want to have similar goals and value and interests. So, it's all up to you, Right Clip says, I don't mind being forever young. I'm like the low-key Leo DiCaprio on God. He's been, dude, once you hit 25, Leonardo DiCaprio just like, it's like, all right, on to the next. Kind of savage, right? Leonardo DiCaprio, fucking savage, bro. Yeah, he just got a new young model girlfriend. Yeah, like she's like 23 or something like that. But hey, man, he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He is like the fucking 0.0000001% of men who can do that sort of thing because of who he is, his status, right? He needs to hit the gym a little bit. Leonardo DiCaprio looking a little out of shape, but still slinging dick. And one of the best actors and greatest actors, one of my favorite actors of all time, especially in Django. Love Leonardo. Mr. Jayway says, I've seen women regret turning down the nice dude for a bum boy, single mother of 4 kids. Yeah, but that's different, right? Those guys, like those fucking nerds who get all mad, like, you like the bad boy, but turn me down. It's like, dude, stop feeling fucking sorry for yourself. Get it the fucking together. Stop being lame and stop putting women on a pedestal. The reason why, it's not the nice guys. It's the fucking weirdo guys that don't have any self-respect for themselves. They put these women on pedestals, right? There's a lot of guys who you could say maybe look geeky or like a nice guy, but they have a spine. They're not fucking jellyfish, right? The reason why women tend to gravitate towards the assholes is because they don't put them on a pedestal. They're not always available. They care about things other than their life and them. And unfortunately, someone would mistake that for strength. But as a man, you can still be a kind, respectful gentleman that doesn't put women on a pedestal. You can still be everything. A bad boy is not being a brute or a bum ass motherfucker who can't hold down a job, right? Who fucking parties all the time, you know what I mean? Who has nothing going for them, right? That's not the reason why women like that is because they don't put them on a pedestal, right? They mistake that for strength. But you can still be a guy who has a lot going for them. It's just like those guys who sit there and bitch and moan about, I'm just a nice guy. You're going to regret it later on in life. She's going to settle for your weird ass later on in life because, yeah, a lot of the guys that she wants to fuck, they don't want her like that no more. And the only guys that are available are the guys that could probably provide, that are beta male providers, right? A lot of women settle for guys later on in life because, the guys they really want, they'll want them no more. And yeah, maybe she has 4 kids. That's baggage. Yeah, but a lot of women make those dumb decisions. You don't have to pick those women, but you have to act like a man. You have to have some respect for yourself, have some self-respect. Stop being so nice, It's not about being a brute or a dick. It's about having some fucking self-respect and not letting people walk all over you. Speaking up. Be extroverted. Go out. Have some friends. That's what it's about, man. But yeah, that is an archetype, right? Slim Cheetah says, if I'm watching Simp Seminars, does that automatically make me a simp? I'm just here for entertainment, I swear. Nah, it's just a funny name, right? JOA says, you're totally right. Unfortunately, I think the problem is women mistake arrogance and flashy dudes as masculine. Yeah, but a lot of guys who are like I know so many guys who are like absolute killers in their life, right? But when they get around a hot woman, they're like a little jellyfish. They're like, oh, you know what I mean? They do some real weird shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and that can set you apart from a guy who's like maybe physically hotter than you, or maybe has more money than you. If you act like a fucking man, like how many times have you like seen a chick with a guy who's like you think is ugly and you think she's way hotter? But it's because men and women view attraction differently. Like, they're not all physical creatures like us, right? A lot of what we like is physical, but maybe he acts like a fucking man. That's it. Maybe he has a spine, maybe he doesn't let people walk all over him, right? Maybe he's direct, decisive. Maybe when he goes out, they go out together. He's not, what do you want to get for dinner? What do you want to do? Maybe he says, hey, when are you free to get together? She says, oh, I'm free Thursdays. And he says, how about we get together? We meet up at this place for drinks, 6 p.m., I'll meet you at the High Tops. How about that? How about when you get to the restaurant and you have reservations and your food doesn't your reservations aren't for another half an hour. You're not sitting around saying, I don't know, what do you want to do while we wait? You say, hey, let's go to the bar and get some drinks. Or hey, let's go across the street, play some fucking games at the barcade. Maybe you're a man and you fucking figure it out, right? That's what it is. Ragged Club says, I swear there's so many women with old ass beta male providers at my job playing tennis. I love getting that attention from them. Yeah, I mean, a lot of women will settle, right? Because look at a lot of women are fucked up, right? And yeah, they spend life, getting dug out by, traveling and fucking a lot of guys and dating a lot of guys who don't really care for them, who just want to use them for ass. And yeah, maybe they skip out on the good guy, right? But here's the thing. Because I truly think that if you meet a woman with integrity, right, and she's hot, and maybe you think that she's hotter than you, but she's attracted to you for some reason, and you act like a man and you just handle business, like you make sure you have a good social life, right? You make sure that you're working hard at your job, and you don't bail out on your friends and bail out on obligations for her. You don't put her on a pedestal. You make sure that you're direct, decisive, and those sorts of things. She can fall in love with you more than a guy that could be physically more attractive than you because you act like a man, right? And a lot of times those women meet those like ballers and a lot of guys who are assholes because they mistake that for strength, right? When a lot of those guys are so needy and stuff, Mr. J says, I also think some women in the Black community choose poor choices for men because they never had a father figure. 100% growing up, and they had the streets media to tell them how a man should treat them. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm Black. I'm from the Black. I mean, I'm half Black, half white, but my dad's Black. My dad was not there for me growing up. And I have a lot of Black cousins and friends whose parents their dad are not there for them. The problem is in the Black community, we have a problem. We have a fucking problem. I don't care what the media tells you. We have a problem. You need to have both parents in the household to have good kids. I'm fucked up in ways that I realize, right, that I've worked on because I didn't have a constant father figure. I've had thank God I've had masculine figures in my life. My mom has had boyfriends, and I've been in foster home with masculine presence in the household. So I've been okay. But yeah, it's a problem in the Black community. And people could say what they want. Maybe you think it's racist or insensitive, but it's fucking true, dude. We have a problem, right? We don't have a 2-parent household. We have fucking loser ass guys, fucking people having kids and just ditching their responsibilities. Like my childhood, my mom met my dad at a party. They fucked, and that's it. I was born into the party life, literally, on somebody's bed. I wasn't born in the bed, but I was conceived, right? And at a party. Why do you think I get to party so much? But yeah, they make poor choices, Mr. J. But Mr. J, here's the thing: you don't have to choose those women. If you deal with a woman who's like that, you can say ratchet or whatever. I don't gotta date you. I could date a woman who's not like that. There are plenty of beautiful Black women who are not like that. It's just, maybe it's hard to find. Depends where you live. Maybe you got to move. So. Radcliffe is not going to lie. My social life sucks at the moment because I'm stacking my paper and working on various projects, but my non-availability is helping these girls chase my attention. That's fine. Yeah. I would try to make like a one night to go out with your friends and just have some, have a beer or something like that and just have a good time. You don't have to fucking stay up till 4 a.m. like my dumbass, but you can make sure you have a good time sometimes, if you want that. If you don't, then dude, stack, but you don't want to become a loner, right? You want to make sure you brush up on your social skills. You want to make sure that you're dating. Now, a lot of guys don't like to date. Okay, here's the thing, guys. A lot of men are picky when you should not be picky. And repetition is the mother of skill. You need to go out on dates. You need to make sure you get that repetition in of setting up a date. Or if you're using dating websites, moving the fucking conversation from a dating website to a phone. Then moving it from a phone to in person, then moving that in-person interaction, right? Some chemistry, maybe you say some things you shouldn't have said, maybe you didn't, you know what I mean? Like all those sorts of things, right? And then, maybe leading things to the bedroom and knowing how to fuck. Like you have to make sure you have repetition, right? So I'm not saying you have to date anybody, but just go on dates with women that maybe you don't think are a 10 in your eyes, but maybe like a 6 or a 7 or 8. Just to get some practice, just so you know what you like and what you don't like, right? That's good. Now, if she's fucking butt-ass ugly, then no. Look, my thing is like, this is what I say. If I wouldn't want to be seen out with her in public, I'm not going to meet her out in public because you're going to be out in public. I did that with one chick and I regretted it so bad because she was not cute. Jack says, I have a good time at work. Yeah, so Jayhawk works at he's a mechanic, so he's probably just fucking shooting the shit with the boys. They're probably drinking and shit on the job. I already know how it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, hey man, if you have a good that's your social life, right? Right Club says, Rodney, I know me as a Leo. I don't like to settle for girls that aren't crazy about me. I don't want no lukewarm romance. Yeah, I mean, hey, Entrepreneurs in Cars says this a lot. And if there's no like burning desire, like why even deal with it? If she's not really, if it's not a hell yeah, then it's not a yeah, right? Some people live like that, but some people like the chase. Some people like women who are like kind of in them, and they like to build that attraction up over time. Because men, we can build attraction up over time. Like for men, like if I'm out with a woman, like she's like not pretty, like, you know, we're physical creatures. It's hard to change that, right? Unless it's like over time. But like on dating websites, right? Dating websites are all physical, right? And maybe a woman's not going to swipe right on your profile because maybe you're under 6 foot, but maybe you meet her out at a club and you just have a bomb ass personality. You're charismatic, and she's like, "Oh, this guy, he's not that tall, but he's fucking he's got some game." I mean, I know a lot of short kings in my life who fucking slay, right? Slay. Mr. J-Way says, I'm a legal assistant at a law firm. Lots of cute girls, but most of them are age 20, 21, married or boyfriends. Dude, 20 to 21? Slide. I'm 32, and I would date a 21-year-old, 100%. I actually like younger girls. I think the sweet spot is like 24 to 26. That's a sweet spot. I mean, a little older is fine, but I like younger women. As men, we do, But if they're married or boyfriends, I mean, not all of them, You look like you're swimming in it, right? Professional women that are not ratchets, right? Look at you around professional women that are not ratchets. Look at that. You just got to work on yourself and become a better catch, man. Whatever that is, man. Whatever you think it is. Maybe you feel like it's your social skills, Maybe you feel like your social skills are lacking. Get out there. And the thing is, what's up, Sagohan? How you doing? The thing is, Mr. J-Way, you just got to have some repetition, man. You just got to go on some dates with some people that maybe are not the most desirable to you. Right Club says, Jay, I would still holler though. Most baddies are never single. They just transfer from one D to another like musical chairs. Yeah, but that was one of our first red flags at the beginning of the stream, which is, of course, the topic was, does she belong to the streets or is she wifey material? And one is, the first one I talked about is, are you ripping her off another man? Because a lot of women will line up an ex-boyfriend and be fucking guys and hanging out with guys before they get rid of their old relationship. And guess what happens when she gets tired of you? She's going to do the same thing, right? So if you're ripping off another guy's girl, be careful. And let me tell you, I mean, people get hurt all the time. People get shot in the face for shit like that. So, and people get murdered for shit like that. So if you're doing those sort of shady things, sometimes you reap what you sow, right? If you're a home wrecker, you might get fucked up. Sacco says, what's up? What's up, Sacco? How you doing, baby? Sacco, what are we drinking now? Dude, I've been on a huge IPA kick, right? Woo, beer with fish, taco fresh. Come on down. Let's go, Sacco, baby. All right, guys, but with that, I'm going to get out of here. I have to go grocery shopping and charge my fucking car. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. We went for an hour and 12 minutes today. This is going to be a regular occurrence. If you guys have questions, DM me on Twitter or DM me on Instagram. If they're specific questions, I will keep them anonymous. Hazy IPA is the best IPA. Don't fucking at me. Don't at me, baby. All right, guys. Like, subscribe. I love you guys. Roger, good night. Hopefully I can help with some stuff. Give you some, some tips and stuff like that, This is my first passion. I love this shit. More than crypto, to be honest. I don't know, for some reason, the dynamic between men and women is so interesting to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. Bye-bye now. All right, laters.